Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. My name is Lynn and I'm your host. And welcome back. It's been 2 weeks without FiberCast, and I just can't wait to spend the next 60 minutes with you talking about what's been going on here and seeing what you've been creating in the last couple of weeks, and also working on a Dear Jane block, D10 Battlefield. And I'm going to use these two colors. So again, as we know, FiberCast isn't really a tutorial. It's just all of us sewing together. So thank you for joining, for those of you who are on now, and for those of you who are watching at a later date, whether you're in Scotland or in Australia or from wherever you come. Thanks for joining and watching. So before I even turn on my machine, I wanted to thank everyone for your kind thoughts and words. Everything is going to be okay. The reason why I didn't do FiberCast for a couple of weeks was for a couple of reasons. My mom had emergency surgery, and she's recovering now. She had a torn aorta, which, for those of you who know about the body, know that that's the biggest blood vessel in your body and feeds the heart to and from. So it was pretty serious. But she's on the road to recovery. She is actually home at her house, and that's where I am. I'm actually upstairs in the bedroom that Karen and I used to sleep in when we were kids. So that's all good, and it's been quite a couple of weeks. Karen and I have been there, as has Bob, and all of our families supporting that, and my mom's doing great. She's a trooper. The other thing that our family is dealing with, though, unfortunately, is my sister-in-law has cancer. So we are, as I'm sure everyone out there has been touched by cancer, and we are being touched by it too, but we're going to get through it. So enough of that. Let's talk about fiber arts. And again, thank you all for your thoughts and comments. It really made a difference. I haven't really touched anything. You'd think with all this time in the hospital I would have done a lot of handwork, but I just couldn't seem to concentrate. So now we're back. And I have my Dear Jane book, Dear Jane, and I thought that I would do D10, which is Battlefield. And this is in reds, but I'm going to do it in blues because for those of you who may have been watching, and I know the lighting is different here, I'm doing a beachy theme, kind of like this one here, that was done, called Love at First Sight, by Chiko Matsura in Kobe City, Japan, and she did it in 1994. So that's my inspiration. Anyway, D10 Battlefield. I know many of you have been continuing work on your Dear Janes, and I love to hear that. I love to see pictures. And let's see, one of whom, well, several of you are. I know Sue out there. Sue Norton is working on her Dear Jane and also making a quilt for a friend. As always, send me pictures, send me notes to lmarquedot@gmail.com. LMARQUE, as in David, ANT, @gmail.com. So send me notes. I'll read these in a minute. I thought, let's rev up the sewing machine at least for a couple of minutes and see if I've remembered how to use it. I have. I did do one test drive before this. So I cut out 2 pieces, and this is paper piece. I also have the Dear Jane software, which I highly recommend if you can splurge and get it. Sarah Kokanowski turned me onto the software, and I like it. Oh boy. Remember, this paper piecing can be tricky at first, but we can do this. Where's Karen? I bet she's on. In fact, my mom may even be on. Okay, so I'm literally going to, ooh, I have to learn about the 1/4 inch. That's funny. This machine sews over about 1/8 of an inch, so I have to recorrect. Okay. 1, 2. Can you believe that it's going to be June 1st? I can't. We were actually at a doctor's appointment today, and we made a follow-up appointment for July. Don't know when or how that happened, but it did. My mom's surgery, fittingly, happened on the early morning of Mother's Day, May 10th. Like I said to her today, we won't ever forget that day. And she was actually very lucky because she lives on an island, and she awoke from the pain and was able to call 911. She lives by herself. And the ambulance came, took her to one hospital. It was too foggy, so they couldn't med flight her, so they took her on a boat over to the Cape Cod Hospital, where they worked miracles. Believe it or not, the healthcare records don't connect between Martha's Vineyard and the Cape, which is a problem. And so the doctors, literally, the surgeons and the nurses, were sending phone pictures between the Martha's Vineyard Hospital and Cape Cod of my mother's test results, so that the ambulance literally rolled her in the back into the operating room rather than even going through the emergency room. And they knew what they were facing because of the phone messages. So it's just, we're very thankful to their expertise. Anyway, how did I get on that again? You'll find I talk about it a lot, and I promise I won't talk that much about it, but it's what we've been living. Oh, the date. So that was May 10th. Now we're almost in June. It's amazing. Okay, so one more here, and I just heard a ding. Love that. Haven't heard that in a long time, and it's a nice sound. I think you'll find this funny. This is a good old sturdy Kenmore. It's great. Does the trick, and it's in great shape. But I found myself first, when I went to thread it, I went to find the automatic threader, and there was one of those, and then I was just surprised when the needle went down. It didn't automatically go up when I was done sewing. Okay, so this is the first unit, and then we'll see who's out there. Oh, there's another ding. Okay. And there is our first unit for our Dear Jane D10 Battlefield. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. And let's see who's out there. Hey, hi Chris. Hi Abby. So nice to know you're there. I hope all's well up in Hopkinton. It's been a beautiful week, hasn't it? Really sunny. Oh, Evelyn. Evelyn writes, Lynn, Olivia was born and is now laying on Grandma's quilt. Great joy and Thanksgiving. Thank you for sharing this with us. I am totally grateful for wonderful people like you and for the amazing gift of life. So good to have you back as my Friday night friend. Best always, Evelyn. While you're away. Oh, that's wonderful news, and thank you. Welcome to Olivia. That's well said. I'm grateful too. Hey, Sue Norton. She says, yay. Welcome back, Lynn. She says, here's a picture of my sewing room where the quilts are born. We have a theme here. Also a pic of the latest quilt. This is only part of it. Once I get this done, it will be back to Dear Jane. Ooh, I like that. Even from that distance, I remember you were working on that. Oh, I love your space. I love seeing studios. Can everyone see that? That's Sue's. Oh, I'm liking it. I'm really liking that. I'm curious what you're going to do for a border. I'm liking that a lot. Hey, KB. Did you hear that ding? That was KB. She says hi to everyone. And she also says thank you from me too for all of your kind words and thoughts. They are helpful and much appreciated. And she says congratulations, Evelyn, and welcome to Olivia. Hi, KB. What you working on? I love that. Oh, Sharon from Ireland. Hi, Sharon. She says, I just want to say how much I missed you last Saturday morning. Aw. I really hope all is well with you and your family and life is back on track again for you all. Looking forward to watching you in the morning, as I know I won't stay awake to catch you live. No kidding. It must be, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning sometimes. And I know you've done, oh, I know that you have been up lives once or twice. Oh, but you attached a picture that's gorgeous. So Sharon says, I just finished my Bonnie Hunter GIMQ, and I'm thrilled with it. You should be. It's stunning. Only quilted about a year and never thought I could follow instructions to produce such a quilt, but I did. You did. I started hard quilting it in February and loved every stitch. Finished binding it last night. Here's a pic. This is what inspires us all. I hope you can see that. To think that Sharon did that, and she's only been seriously quilting for a year. Yep, but you did it one step at a time. You're a natural. That's beautiful. Norma. Hi, Norma. Glad you're back. I'm not doing any sewing tonight, but I am watching FiberCast. Yay! She says hubby is going to be on vacation this week, so we will be out riding and fishing and taking the grandbabies to Tennessee. Hope you have a nice weekend. Oh, that sounds great. I love the pictures of your four-wheeling and of your horses. It's great. And I loved seeing the pictures of Marquet and the rattlesnake. That was something. Wow. Oh, and Joyce is out there. Hi, Joyce. Joyce L. She says, I'm so glad to see you. I wanted to drop you a note to say you and your family are in my prayers. Glad your mom is doing better. Joyce from Maryland. She is. Thanks. What are you working on? In fact, although I bet you're working on your own design. Didn't you do one mystery quilt so far this year? Hey, Carol. Carol's family. Carol's my sister-in-law. And her sister is the one I was talking about. So send thoughts her way too. Carol says, Mom, glad to hear Mom's doing well. Also glad to have you back on the air. Happy sewing. Thanks. You too, Carol. Let me know, Carol, if I came across a description of triangles and sizes you need to cut in order to sew them together to make certain size squares. So let me know. I can find that again and send it to you. Who else is here? Oh, Maureen in Pennsylvania. Let's see. Aw, she says thrilled to see you back. Hi. Ding, she says. She wrote that too. That's funny. You too. As you can see, remember the doll we made 2 weeks ago? I haven't finished that. That's back home. But I brought this. Dear Jane, I brought some hexies and I brought some knitting. So there's certainly plenty to do. But not if I'm chit-chatting the whole time. Let's see. Do one. Once you get in the groove of the paper piecing, it is fun. So Carol, I talked to Bob, my husband Bob, who's still back home. He's been commuting down here once so far with the dog, but I talked to him today and he said that Mike is coming over and they're going to be playing band in the basement, so he was really looking forward to that tonight. Oops. Okay, 1, 2. Aren't the flowers around here pretty? Oops. There we go. Ding! Love this. Hey, Jamie Pennybaker. Hello, Lynn. Glad your mom is doing better. Thanks. I have missed your show the last few months because of the suspense. I hope you're okay. Oh, now I have to go to Google. It truncated. Hang on. I have to log in. Let's see if this works. I have to remember my password and I don't. Well, Maureen and Jamie, welcome back. And I think I can go another way to see the end of your message. I'll reply to you after FiberCast when I go get my password, log into Google Plus, and then I'll reply back. That's funny. I thought I had it logged into it, but something's happened. Boy, we sure have learned a lot about technology and discovered it's pretty versatile. We've been able to do some work on the road, stay in touch. I mean, during all those hours, the first couple of days, it was nice to have folks just an IM away. Oh, and then, I didn't tell you one of the best happenings. Bob and Carol and Mary's cousin lives literally 6 miles from Spalding Rehab on the Cape in Mashpee. And she opened her house to us, and we were able to stay there during the nighttime when we weren't visiting Mom. And that was just, can you imagine? We started out in hotels, but then we quickly moved to Cheryl's house, and it was great. Anyone going to any quilt shows lately? I have, getting there. Boy, I'm out of practice. See, this is another reason to spend at least 60 minutes a week doing something with fiber. Otherwise, you get rusty. Can I just tell you how awesome my sister is? So KB, I don't even know how, just sent me my Google password. Thank you. Okay. Hang on. So Jamie, we may be able to do this. Okay, I have to enter my mail again. And unbelievable. Thank you, KB. Jamie, welcome Jamie. Jamie says she's missed our show the last few months because of lots of family emergencies. I think it has calmed down for now. Man, can I relate, Jamie. I hope everything's okay. Well, and I'm glad you're back. Okay. Oh, look at what I did. I sewed over it. That's right, Jamie. I hadn't seen your name in several months. I am glad you're back. You may notice we've evolved a little bit, FiberCast, now we're in what? We've been doing this for a year and a half. And we're still not a tutorial, and even though I'm not working on it tonight, I'm really intrigued by these dolls. And that's what I wanted to tell you guys about and show you pictures of. A couple of doll classes that either some folks from the Textile Tarts, who may be on the call, Pat, Sue, have taken, and one that we're going to take at the end of June. Let me finish this one up, and then I'll show you pictures of both the class that was in middle of May and the one that's coming in June. So there's some fiber related, of course. When you can make cloth dolls, or you can make their outfits. And I'm just so intrigued. In fact, I like the mixed media of it, and the fact that you can even carve dolls out of wood, or you can make them out of paper mache, in addition to just cloth. Okay, so I'm cutting off the extra here. Battlefield has a lot of pieces. So here's the second one that I'm going to trim up. This is unit H. It's a little humid down here. We turned on the dehumidifier last night, and every day it fills up with a bucket of water. But I like emptying it because then I feel like we've done something. Okay, so there are two, units H and G. Okay. So now I'll get the rest of my paper pieces here. Take care of everything. Let's do unit D as in dog and C as in cat. I hope you're all working on something fun, or just looking forward to playing in the woods with your family tomorrow, or going to graduations. I know my nephew Tommy is graduating from high school, and I'm sure many of you have graduations. Patty's husband graduated. Okay. And I've seen lots of prom pictures, which have been fun. I have to remember not to be afraid to waste fabric. Where do you hear that uttered? Okay, so I'm pre-cutting, like my sister taught me, 4 greens to 1 white. Ooh, I love that ding. Let's see. Because I have 2 of them, I'll do it again. Okay, 2 of those. And then here, there we go. So 2 whites in the middle. Okay, I heard some dings. Oh, neat. Maureen says she'll be going to the Quilt Odyssey in Hershey, Pennsylvania in July. Ooh, that sounds fun. Jamie says, hi Jamie, she says it's slowly getting better. I'm glad to hear that. Hang in there. So nice to see everyone out there. So speaking of who's out there, and I just wanted to do a few shout outs. To Joan, thank you Joan. To Evelyn, to Gabri, Lena, Rita, Agnes, Delwyn, Marquet, Sandra, Lorna, KK out in San Diego, Joyce, Patty, Evelyn, Barbara, Andy, Peggy, Peggy Down Under, Patsy, Carol, Renee, Jennifer, Kathy, Julie, Rebecca, Lisa Lynn, Laura, Linda, Sue Ellen, and Crystal. And I'm sure I forgot many more. So nice to see you out there. Okay, now, what I wanted to show you, dolls. 2 pictures. First, the session that was in the middle of May was down in New Jersey, in Hooksett, New Jersey, and it was given by Colleen Colholqueen. I think that's how I say her last name. And Sue and Pat from Textile Tarts invited me to go, and I was going to go, but of course plans changed, so our second Pat went with them, and the 3 of them turned out some really fun dolls, and I wanted to show them to you in process. And I do have it all pulled up, but now my system's thinking. Colleen Colquhoun is the teacher, and the class was called Bunny Girl, and this is the model doll after which the class was modeled. So they went down, I think, on a Thursday night, and they spent Friday and Saturday making that doll. And that doll is really I saw another one that they'd made in the same format in an earlier class. It's really delicate. She's only about that big, and she's very fluid because of the way the joints are made with paper mache and I think some metal, and I really don't know because I didn't take the class. But here are two of the dolls that Pat and Sue made. Aren't those beautiful? So they're still in process, but look at the hair and the beautiful cherub faces. Let's see if there's more. Oh, and this one. Oh, this one has more clothes. This one I think is Pat's. She's beautiful. Oh, and I don't know whose that is, and she has her ears. Oh, fun. And here they all are playing at the table. You see that? I don't know if there's a reflection. Doesn't that look fun? And it's a beautiful big Victorian house in New Jersey where they're playing. Oh, and here's one more. Very expressive with the hands open. Anyway, so that was the first class in middle of May. Fun, fun, fun. And again, the teacher's name is Colleen Colquhoun, if you want to look her up. Now, the second class is at the end of June. I'm also doing it through the Textile Tarts that Sarah Kokanowski introduced me to. And this one is going to be in Worcester with a Catherine Walmsley. She does mixed media, figurative sculpture, and fiber arts. And believe it or not, we're going to make a doll out of cloth and then the clothes out of hard clay. So it's kind of backwards. And I believe this is the model that we're going to follow. So isn't that interesting? The face and the head is made out of cloth, but the actual clothing is made out of clay. And it says, this is a turnabout class, using creative paper clay to make the clothing instead of the doll. She has a cloth head and found materials for embellishments and limbs. This class is the most fun done in 3 days. Of course, we're going to do it in 2 days, which is fine. We work over a pressed fiber cone, and we start with creating paper clay clothing and sculpted shoes. While the clay dries, we create a cloth head, paint the features, and needle sculpt the face. Remember last week I was pulling the needle through our little toy doll there and how you can make the features? So I'm really looking forward to learning more rather than just kind of learning on my own, winging it. It says we'll prepare the stick arms and legs and select from various possibilities for embellishing the clothing. Repairing, sanding, and painting the body of the sculpture is next, then painting and embellishment. Assembly, complete with hair and fiber embellishments, completes the project. Very fun. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's the end of June. What else did I want to show you? I think that was it. I best get moving here. In all my talking, I lost one of the pieces, but this will work. So, again, doing a small paper piece, white in the middle. I'll literally do this. There we go. Anyone doing any purging around their house? Spring cleaning? Now's a good time to do it. I say as I'm away from my house not doing a thing. Bob said the grass had grown a lot, so he had cut that tonight. 2 down. Just cut this away. Finger press it open. It's amazing what we can get done in 60 minutes, or what little we can get done. Okay, and here we go. Okay, there, and finger press this one open. So we have a square, and then we're literally going to trim this up, and I hope, without looking too clumsy, I can bend down and get the other unit of this shape, because this is an important unit. So that's good. All right, so now we have 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Leave that here. Throw this down. Look around. Maybe I'll back up. Let's see what we've got here. Here it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, back. Sewed over a little corner here. There we go. Oh, I didn't mention Lynn out in Northern California. Hi. You know what we should do maybe for fun this summer? Maybe we should take a cue from Patty Bannister down in Texas and just keep working on our projects. She wrote and said she's not on tonight. She had a banquet to go to, but she'll be on tomorrow. And she has made progress on her bow tie quilt and on her, I think she was doing a bounty hunter. But I was very impressed to hear that she's just plugging away on her current projects. about the only thing I did do was I blocked Jean's hat. Remember I made that red and white hat for Jean several weeks ago? Well, that hat has been to California and back. I've carried it with me. Then it's been to the Cape for 2 weeks, and now it's down here, literally in the basement, I wet it, and then I put it on top of a upside down pan, and it's drying down there. And I think it's going to be perfect, Jean. And I never did get the irises to you or to Chris. There's a bunch of them that's dug up. They're probably no longer there on the side of the house. So if you're ever by Winter Street, help yourself. Okay. So there's a second one. Let's see what else we have to do here. Okay, we're cranking. Now we have a lot of half square triangles. That down. Excuse me. Okay. So now we're doing 4 of those. You see that? And just as a reminder, let's look at what this square is going to look like. Oh, I see. So again, it's Battlefield. That's that one. I see. I dropped my fabric again. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I could just do a whole strip of this. Whole strip of white. Let's see. Okay, so there's the white. Here's the white. There's the green. Here's the white. Da, 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 da. Go. It's getting there. Okay, and then 3. Three. And all right. So already there's another one. Now we'll clean this up. Another piece. There we go. Oh, finger press this over. A lot of the same ones here. Okay, and one more on this one. And we can sew those two together. At least this Dear Jane block, I don't think it's not very tricky. Because it's not like there are any Y seams to inset. It's straight seams. I think it's going to be very forgiving when we put it all together. So probably not a bad one to get started with as we get back into the saddle again. Okay, just that. So now I'm going to square this one up, and then I'm going to sew the two of them together, because I think that would be fun. So all right, so I'm going to sew those two together. Well, that did not work well at all. Look at how far off they are. Right there. But you know what? I'm going to leave it. It'll still give the good illusion. There's that. Let's do two more. Getting stingy here again. Okay, just take this, this, and this. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, that'll work. No, that won't work. So I guess I don't have much other news, do I? Summer's coming. Hopefully people are making plans for the summer. Trips to the Cape or... Oh, that was something we did. We went to the Sandwich Glass Museum. And we saw so many pieces of sandwich glass. I hope I did that right. That's about all I know of the history of it. There was, I guess I can tell you, there was blown glass and cut glass. Oh, this is where I need Karen and Bob. It's one of the oldest manufacturers of glass. They would keep the furnace, the glass blowing furnace, up for 4 or 5 months at a time because it had to be at such high temperature. It would take a month to get the furnace up to temperature to melt the glass. Can you imagine keeping a big old furnace on for months at a time? And they made things like, for laboratories, like beakers or pipettes or test tubes, and used them up in Boston. They made... Then they did pressed glass. They discovered that they could make a lot more faster, cheaper by just getting a glob of molten glass and then taking a press and pressing it. And they would make little cups for your teacup. If you wanted to drink your tea out of your big saucer of your teacup, you'd put your teacup on that little glass one. Or there were beautiful cut glass at certain points. And very pretty lamps, perfume bottles, salt, little containers for your salt that they would put at each table spot, along with maybe a dish of water, so that if you were eating something that was a little bit, with your hands, that was a little bit dirty, you could then dip your hand in the water right there and then wipe it off. I, of course, also found Tumbleweed Quilt Store. That's what I meant to tell you guys. And I have to brag about my restraint. I only bought 2 50-cent 1/8 of a yards square pieces. Fat 1/8. But the shop looked great, full of fabric. If anyone's on the Cape, it's in East Barnstable or West Barnstable. It's called Tumbleweed. I dropped my Okay, one more and we'll sew it together. Carol, if you're still out there, the picture of you and Cam all dressed up, was such a pretty picture. That, push this over. Do this again. that. I'm going to cut it. And I think we can sew this together and create the middle of this battlefield square. We are not going to be able to finish this in 60 minutes because I was chit-chatting. Okay, so let's make sure we get it aligned the same way. Hopefully align it a little bit better. Yep, a little bit better. Still not great. There's that one. So now let's put all four together. Looking over at it. This is fun. So 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 plus 5 is 13 times 2. There are literally going to be 26 pieces in this little 4-inch unit or 3-inch unit. Almost done. 2 more seams. You hear the machine struggling with all those layers. But it's doing it. This is a good workhorse machine. Okay. So now I'm going to sew those 2 together. Oh. Okay. Lock them up. Go. And with this, I think we're back in the saddle. We're back to making things with fiber. That is the start of our D10 Dear Jane square called Battlefield. So I want to thank you all for joining FiberCast. It's great to be back. Great to see all of your comments. Keep sending in pictures of what you're doing. Be creative and join me here next Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.